Welcome back to Is It Good? And this will be our Dune Prophecy episode 5 theory video. And we'll be doing more theory videos than breakdown videos. We have a lot of breakdown channels out there. And not that I mind doing breakdowns and that will never do breakdowns. But I think that one of the things that I rush to write after watching these shows and these series is immediately after is theories. I immediately start to think about what's going to happen in the next episode or how it might end, or what some of the mysteries that present what they might mean. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Episode 5 started off real spicy. We had your boy Desmond Hart, a literal attempt on his life. Um, by the sister who's basically the right hand of or she's basically the black ops of the sisterhood, Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. And so she's over there on the rebel side, kind of stoking the rebellion and whatever. Um, as Desmond Hart suspects, she's also on the orders of Mother Valia. She's also disrupting the spice trade in an attempt to weaken the emperor, right? Now, this is an interesting power play, but obviously our boy Desmond here has figured it out, and he's been given full power. Um, he's been given full power by the king here, as we can kind of see in the beginning of the episode. They kind of have their own task force, I guess you could call it that, where they're kind of trying to figure out, yeah, is who else, like, where's the treachery coming from, and who else in these great houses might be involved. And so they're the task force for that, actually. Your boy Desmond is the face of it. But I think to me, this episode represents that. To me, this episode is almost like it's all about him, even though we have a bunch of other stuff going on. The biggest reveal in this episode actually is what we get about him, his history, you know, where he kind of comes from, right? And without further ado, let me get into it, because let's just be fair. This is a spoiler. These are spoiler videos. And so if you have not seen the episode, please go. And if you haven't seen the episode, please go and take a look. You won't, um, you won't be, I don't want to be responsible here. So yeah, spoiler warning. If you have not seen Dune Prophecy episode 5, go and watch it and then come back. If you want to kind of bookmark the episode, that'd be good, or just drop a like. You can come back to your like videos later on and finish watching. But yeah, so we have your boy Desmond Hart being kind of given this power by the king or the emperor in the beginning of the episode. It's really all about him. We kind of get that reveal where we find out where he's from. We find out his sort of origins, if you will. And yeah, I think a lot of us are surprised. Some of us more than some. Some of us definitely suspected that this is where Desmond Hart is from. This is where we're kind of seeing, his origins, which is essentially that he's Harkonnen and Atreides, right? Now, the big the big issue here with him being who he is what it means for the Bene Gesserit, the sisterhood, essentially, but also what it means for Mother Tula, because she's the one here that's kind of struggling when this reveal breaks out. And I think that's where we're going to see I think that's where we're going to see like a disruption. Like I think in my eyes, this is Desmond, because he willingly gave Valia his blood essentially, because I think he kind of knows about what they have going on with the machine. I think he willingly gave her his DNA, so that they could find out who he really is. Um, and part of that ploy, I think, is to kind of help disrupt, because Valia and Tula are like the perfect, they're like the perfect pair in terms of they support each other's goals. You know, that's what friends are supposed to do. But like, let's be real. You know, Valia is a little bit darker, and I think when the episodes begin, like episode one, we kind of, you know, we start to assume that she is the darker one, but then we kind of see in the later episodes where Tula is the one who literally murders the entire Atreides house, sparing that one boy, and so we can kind of see that she also has this kind of darker side where she's willing to do what is necessary, and what we see from that is that she matches Tula matches Valia's darkness very well. And so them as a pair, you know, they could get what they need to get done, you know, if it's just the two of them. And we see that later on in the episodes as other people are kind of questioning, they're kind of questioning the sisterhood. But this attempt by Desmond Hart, I think this giving of his DNA to to Valia is kind of a way to say, all right, let me show you guys who you're dealing with, but also to kind of disrupt the one half of this brilliant team that they have going, which is his mother, Tula. And we can see that she's definitely kind of shocked, you know, by that, shocked to kind of see that it's your boy Desmond who is her son. And I think we didn't get that we didn't get the reveal of who exactly the father is, or if we did, I might have missed it. But we did see that she has given up. She did give up her baby in previous episodes, and you know, even in this episode, there's a point where she's being asked by this other sister, um, about others who are being asked to kind of sacrifice, and it's like she's kind of asking, what have you sacrificed? This is in, you know, in question to Tula, and in this very episode Tula actually answers too much, you know, more than you can ever know. And I think part of that is that she can never know unless she becomes a mother and having to give that up and feeling what that is like. But also she can never know, as in like it will be a secret forever. And so I always like these lines where, you know, they're loaded, like it's a double entendre in a way, has multiple meanings. But yeah, it's a real surprise here to kind of see that it really is your boy Desmond. Like he really is the star of this episode, and we see that it is him who's going to give the sisterhood the run for their money. You know, he is the opposition here, despite this kind of seduction that's going on with, or this imprinting that's going on um with this sister and the emperor, who, you know, they can see that they kind of produced a bastard son together, um which is one of the big reveals too of this episode. But to me, it's like, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's a reveal, but it's overshadowed, honestly, by Desmond. All of that is overshadowed by Desmond because he is just so prominent, this discovery and what it means, you know. But the actor as well, he plays such, Travis Fimmel plays such a good kind of Rasputin, let's call him Rasputin here. For those who know, Rasputin is this kind of diabolical religious figure that, you know, became a part of the Russian royal family, the Kremlin, back in the day, as an advisor. And people thought that he was just like borderline satanic and he had all these rituals, whatever, whatever. And so Desmond is kind of like kind of reminding us of Rasputin in a lot of ways. But he's also very much, he's also very much, he has his own story. He's tortured. We can kind of see, he feels pain from some of the stuff that he's doing for sure. Um, but yeah, we also kind of see, because of this kind of betrayal that the Empress feels by the sister coming back to court, and the imprint that she has on the Emperor, the seduction, and we kind of see this seduction actually. We see a bit of this seduction in, if you will, the Dune films, where Fade Rorta, who is borderline psychotic, is actually seduced. And I think that's kind of also how they achieved Paul's birth. His father was seduced again by the Bene Gesserit, his mother at that time. And so we kind of see some of that, like the strongest version of that seduction taking place with the Emperor and Constantine's mother here, who is a sister. And I think the Empress feels slighted by that, but she also kind of feels like all her power is kind of slipping away, with this. And I think this kind of her attempting to seduce Desmond is kind of trying to, in many ways, regain control, or to sink her claws deeper into him, in a way. And they both have similar goals as well, so I can kind of see it. But it also matches up with the whole Rasputin thing, because Rasputin is rumored to have slept with the monarch's wife at the time, and so a lot of this stuff is really lining up. Um, but yeah, we it's an interesting episode. You have all these reveals. You have We find out that Mother Raquel has managed to come to the surface, in Lila's body, and they kind of figure out that, yeah, they figure out that this virus, or the so-called retrovirus, is actually just, something that is a what do you call, a left, or a modified leftover from the previous war. And it's the thing that Desmond is using to kind of, kill all these people, if you will. So yeah, it's interesting. Looking forward to seeing what, episode 6 will bring, in terms of what else they find out about the virus and how he kind of controls that. I'm assuming that there's some kind of machine going on there. So there's a bit, I'm imagining, if that reveal takes place, there will be a bit of hypocrisy in the fact that Desmond is like so against machines, but he might actually be using some kind of machine. I don't know if it's a thinking machine per se, but I definitely feel like Desmond is using some kind of machine to control this virus. And so it would be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, and I think because of his lineage, my big theory from episode 5, I think because of his lineage here as an Atreides and also as a Harkonnen, I think that the God Emperor Leto, who is the one that they're seeing when we're talking about this prophecy, right? That Mother Raquel and the other Bene Gesserits keep seeing, with the sandworm and all these different things, the destruction, or the reckoning, as they're calling it. I think that what they're seeing when they're having this vision, to me, is prescient. It's like they're seeing into the future. But I think because they're reaching into the future, and Desmond, I think Desmond is also kind of playing that role of like the messenger of, or not probably not a messenger, but probably the 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 tool, for lack of a better word, um of Leto Atreides, I think, right? Because they say he's a god emperor, he can reach back in through time, like they have a monopoly. The Kwisatz Haderach, he's the true Kwisatz Haderach, right? And so we're kind of debating whether it's Paul or whether it's Leto, but I think it's Leto, and I think that what we know is that they do have the potential to reach through space and time, right? They can kind of reach back and forth. They'll have a mastery of space and time. And so I think what we're seeing here is that he's kind of protecting Desmond here, right? Like, so these blue eyes that they're seeing, the sisters, for this split second, that they can't see beyond. And this is something that I'm saying, like, they've referenced as well. They're like, we can't see beyond these blue eyes. This is where the vision ends. So I think it's prescience. They're seeing to an extent, but then there's an extent to which later is looking back in time and seeing that they're probably gaining or trying to gain too much control, and saying, okay, let me use this agent Desmond to kind of minimize their control, or to put a cap on their control, or whatever the intention is, right? If this is my theory, and if it is the case, right? If it is the case and it is your boy Leto, right, trying to control something, there might be more intention behind it that I may not be able to see now, that we might see in the future. But yeah, I think he's using Desmond as an agent here, and kind of reaching back in time and saying, since I'm using Desmond as my agent to make sure that the Bene Gesserit doesn't completely take over the universe, if I'm doing that, I also want to kind of block them. I also want to ensure that they can't see too much of what he is planning or what he is going to do in the future, because that will also help to limit their power, as their present power. And so I think that's my theory. I think he's Leto, the God Emperor, is reaching back and saying, you guys are getting way too powerful. Let me put a cap on what you got going on. And my boy Desmond Hart is actually the key to that. Not only is he the key to that, I don't want you to see what he has going on. And yeah, that's my theory. Desmond is the agent of Leto Atreides. And we kind of hear him talking a bit about that as well. We kind of hear him talking about being kind of sent, and the religious, he kind of had that religious rhetoric in the beginning. So we might very well be seeing an agent of the God Emperor here. And that's my theory. If you guys agree or disagree, I might be off. I might be, if you think I'm close, if you think I'm way off, let me know in the comments. It'd be interesting to hear you guys' take on this thing. And yeah, see you in the next one.